by the time I end up at a level 5, level 6, maximum security prison, I'm already in the joint for like, I'm already in the joint for like 2 years. So I go to St. Clair, maximum security prison. And if you're from Alabama, you know about St. Clair. It's in St. Clair County. And it houses 80 to 85% life without inmates. That means the niggas that's in St. Clair, they ain't going home. But what might strike a lot of people and surprise a lot of people is the fact that these guys are the coolest guys to do time with. Now, of course, you got your crash outs. You got your crash outs in everything you do. So, of course, you got these young guys that got 150, 200, life without life. Shit they can't EOS. EOS means end the sentence. Shit that they can't, EOS. They got a lot of time. So, of course, you got your crash outs. But most of the count, I'm talking about like 90% of the count is laid back. And you would be surprised because you might end up in the cell with somebody that got 5, 6 bodies. That's in there for doing some heinous stuff. And you will never know it because their mannerisms, the aura, the way that they come off, it's like, damn, he cool as hell. Y'all get like this. And then a couple months down the line, you find out that you living in a cell with a mass murderer or something like that. I'm telling you, it'd be crazy. But anyway, especially at the maximum security prisons. But anyway, so I'm getting adjusted to St. Clair. Now, when I get in St. Clair has I don't know how to explain it, but the feeling that you get, the energy, the smell, it's like, it gives you a sense of death. That's like a stench of death, if that makes sense. And it's like, if you've never been to prison, you're gonna be super scared. But if you've been to prison, you still gonna be on edge if you've never been to a maximum security prison, especially in a maximum security prison where you pull up at the prison, you walk in through the back gate, and it's just like this. You can't explain it, but it's this energy, it's this aura, it's this feeling, it's everything when it comes to this prison. And then you walk through this long tunnel, right? Now, this tunnel is about 100 yards. It's about the size of a football field. And the tunnel doesn't have cameras. So this is where everything goes on, Okay, so I came to St. Clair to go to a program. Mind you, I had 20 plus years, but the time that I had compared to the time that a lot of these guys in St. Clair had was nothing. Think about it. 20 plus years is nothing. That means I have more than 20 years. Not just 20, more than 20 years. And that's not nothing compared to the guys that I'm in here with, the time that they got, but I go here to go to a program, right? So, mind you, the place that I went to initially, because I ended up on the GR. The GR is where all of the killers are at. But anyway, the place that I initially went to, which they called R1 at the time, was the program dorm. In order for you to get to the program dorm, you have to walk through the tunnel. In order for you to get to the industry, you have to walk through the tunnel. In order for you to hit that back gate and leave out of there, because you did have people there that had custody, you had to go through that tunnel. That tunnel is what they call the tunnel of death, right? So not my first time, but around my second time walking through that tunnel, I immediately get this experience. And when I say this is the day that I get there, because remember, not only do you have to walk through the tunnel to get to the GR where all the killers are at, you have to also walk through the tunnel to get to the nurses station to get your pills. You got to walk through the tunnel to get to the chow hall to eat your food. So if you living in R1, you have no choice but to walk through this tunnel. Now, this is where everybody's getting smashed at. So on my second day there, on my second time going to the tunnel, it's still my first day there. I'm walking. Mind you, the line is long. It's people lined up 100 yards from where the tunnel ends to where the tunnel starts, right? I'm walking, you know. Now, mind you, people are walking back this way as well that are going down here. But it's also people that sleep on the G yard that's walking down back this way. You know? For they trying to sell shit, pass shit off, scope shit, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's prison. So this is an open air market for drugs or whatever that's in this prison. You know? Prison is kind of like the free world, if that makes sense, but in another type of way. Only thing is, there ain't no women in there. And then you're not on the street, so it's like everything's smaller, but now you dealing with the police. It's for like you living with the police. You know, you're living with the police, so you literally have to be a lot more careful than you have to be on the streets, honestly. But you know, I'm in line, and man, it's probably about 2 or 3 guys ahead of me. A white guy. He's walking, minding his business. I don't know what he did. There's this black bald head guy coming this way. I bullshit you not. There was no talking. There was no warning. There was no... as soon as he lined up with him and got to his guy, he hit him. And I'm thinking he had to hit this guy with a lot because the damage that he did to this guy was so grave to the point where it made me like, you know, it made me realize that this is gladiator school. I cannot play. Like, for real. Niggas ain't talking. Niggas ain't trying to ask questions on if you the right man. Niggas is straight trying to smoke you right here. You know, this white dude's jaw had to be broke because it was extremely bloody. But the thing that got me was this guy, wow, really laid it on this dude. Cracked this dude. Had to break his jaw, like I said. Turned right around. Went back on the GR like ain't nothing happened. I'm talking about, bah! And walk off. Motherfucker looking like, you know, real talk. Lesson out of this. Always be aware. Always stay aware. Awareness is everything. You know? Somebody might ride past trying to shoot at you or something like that, or do something to you. By you being the one that's aware, you might see the play. You might save all of y'all. Make sure that y'all stay aware. I'm giving y'all these prison stories. This shit raw and uncut. Straight up. I got so many of these. I'm kicking this channel off. Y'all need y'all to support this shit, man. Real talk, man. I'm finna show y'all. I'm finna give y'all the inside, the mind of a real fella that been in the streets and done did all of that shit that these guys be rapping about. And then came out of it and can tell you that there's nothing positive in it for you. Real talk. It's your boy, SNTV. Y'all already know what I like to say. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies and try not to get slimed out. I'm out.